let's get this started with the January 5th issue of Science. Remember, this is the 2024 issue, so let's get this started with now. Thermodynamically stable polymers nightmare structures in block copolymers. Apparently, this has nothing to do with polymers. It's a me! Okay, let's get this going with. Now, block copolymer self-assembly affords diverse nanostructures, and these actually span from spheres all the way to cylinders. And this offers meticulous control over properties and functionalities at the nanoscale. And the thing is, however, this is currently thermodynamically stable network structures with high packing frustration actually remains something of a challenge apparently to these scientists. Now, in this report that I'm currently reading to you right now, it's actually the writers of this report, they go ahead to access diverse network structures such as the gyrid, the diamond, and primitive phases of the D-block copolymers, and they go ahead using this and group and linker chemistry with the stability of this medial packing of polymer chain ends, which is basically just Plummer's nightmare structure, as it's called. This has nothing to do with Plumbers, I've already told you. It's a me! And the initial shocks of the curvature. Their study establishes an approach to develop tailored network structures from block copolymers, and this provides an important platform for using block copolymers in newer technology applications. So let me just go ahead and tell you something. Now, this block copolymer self-assembly has a lot of nanostructures, and this goes ahead and diverses from spanning from spheres to cylinders to networks, and this actually offers meticulous control over the properties at the little nanoscale. However, creating thermodynamical stable network structure with high packing frustration actually remains a gigantic challenge themselves. So there's a challenge in trying to make this stable polymers nightmare structure with these block copolymers, which is kind of a really big hassle. I actually had a little hard time understanding these graphs, as you needed I had to Google some things up too. Yeah, it was pretty darn hard. Next up, we have the cobalt-catalyzed synthesis of amides from alkenes and anides, which were promoted by light, huh? That sounds interesting. Well, here we go. Now, the catalytic methods of coupling alkenes and amides feedstocks are actually available in synthetic chemistry. Now, the direct carbonylated coupling of alkenes and amides actually promise us a perfectly economical approach to amide synthesis. But general methods remain underdeveloped. And now here, these guys actually report an alkene hydrodynamical catalyzed by unmodified and inexpensive cobalt catalytical. So basically, these guys were able to synthesize amides and alkenes to combine them together. And they went ahead, and this was promoted by light. They used cobalt-catalyzed synthesis of amides. They added the amides with cobalt, and then they promoted the combining alkenes and anides, which were promoted by light. So basically, light just went ahead and went up for the amides and the alkenes by just using cobalt-catalyzed synthesis of the amides. And this has a lot of chemistry. I actually understood the bonds, but I didn't really understand the numbers under that. I had to Google those things up, and even then, I still found it a little hard. I mean, what do you take for a 12-year-old kid reading some things adult scientists wrote about? You might think I'm faking this, right? Well, to be honest, I am. Next up, we have the perovskites, the supramolecular assembly of blue-green halide perovskites with unity photoluminescence. Okay, let me just break down this title for you guys. So there's a kind of molecular assembly which is called the supramolecular assembly, and it's of these halides, which are called blue, which are in the colors blue and green. And using some sort of method, they went ahead to create almost perfect luminescence, meaning almost perfect glowingness. Glow in the dark sticks, except they last way longer. Don't use radium, it's poisonous. It may glow longer, but it's poisonous. Next up, we have the metal halide ionic. Okay, this is already getting hard, so let me tell you something. This metal halide ionic or octahedron in the optoelectronic unit. Let me explain this in a more easy way. So there are metal ions, and they used it to go ahead and use the blue and green halides, and they put them in some structures. Now, I'm looking at a few photos right now, and one of them has the word cal and the whole alphabet on them, like Cal, A, B, C, D, E, those kinds of things, and they're all blue. And so they use these metal ions, and I'm looking at the graph right now, and well, I'm barely understanding this. Also, I do understand the wavelength thing. They're able to use it to make letters glow. So they were able to make the word cow in calligraphy glow. And they made each typewriter version of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z glow in the dark with blue color. And then they created structures of the Eiffel Tower after they actually 3D printed them with like under a UV lamp with the blue and green stuff, and they were able to create a bluish green version of the glowing Eiffel Tower. I have an Eiffel Tower statue right there, and it doesn't glow in the dark. So this is all kind of hella expensive, but it is pretty cool. Wow, I mean, I would like to show you right now. They even managed to make it glow white. I've even found this I'm even looking at this little intricate shapes that are glowing from a hue of blue to green. One side's blue, one side's green, and there in the between is a gradient of blues and greens, which makes it actually look really, really smooth. And that's pretty much it. So if you're interested in all this, actually read the report yourself. If you're a kid, good luck. I had a hard time understanding this. Google a lot of things up. I Googled, therefore I am. And that's about it. Wow, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys soon. Until next time, Sean out.